Afternoon.
Well, we've asked you about Bryce Hall. What have you seen from him as he's gotten deeper into the playbook and defense?
Very intelligent player. Doesn't make the same mistakes twice. He's a bookworm. He brings it to the field every day. You're not going to beat him mentally, physically. He's been where he's supposed to be right now, so it'd be great to see him in pads, but he's doing an excellent job.
But you got 3 corners that are starter level corners, kind of like what you had last year.
You can never have enough corners. I wish I had 5 of them.
Todd, you guys moved on from Doug Hopkins. What was the kind of reason there, injury-wise? What happened?
Well, he was injured, so we needed some healthy bodies, and we'll take care of that. But the door is open, and we understand it's a tough business, and he understands that as well. So we'll see what happens in the future. Yeah, I mean, that's the only place it could happen.
Injury aside, is the return game going to be different, do you think, that position, whether it's a receiver or likely a running back? Would that affect the decision?
I think it's going to be a lot different. It didn't affect the decision, but I think it's going to be a lot different. And there's going to be a lot of experimentation in preseason, whether it's a running back, a bigger guy, a smaller guy, what kind of athletes are on the kickoff going down there, and what kind of guys you need on kickoff return. So it could affect the roster in certain ways, whether you keep extra middle guys like tight ends and backers, or whether it's more D linemen, or you still keep the extra DBs that you need to keep. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Todd, as the offensive install goes on, what do you like about the different parts of the running game that you see now, the different schemes?
Well, they're coming off the ball. They're in sync early on. This is real early for them to be in sync. For me, I thought that would take a little bit of doing, but Carves and Pick have done a great job getting those guys ready. Obviously, we're out of pads right now, but the chemistry is coming in pretty good, and that's what I like about it.
When you look at participation, I think there's 4 guys who aren't here today. One of them, Tristan, is obviously holding out. But what does that speak to the team to have so many guys here when it's a voluntary basis, trying to put in work together to get better for the season?
There's a lot of guys that want to win. You know, the chemistry starts here and it continues in training camp, so it's important for these guys to come in. We understand it's voluntary. We thank them for coming in. You know they need to work. They're very professional about it, and they're trying to help the young guys.
Going off of that, just where do you feel like your team is as a whole going into minicamp next week?
Well, for the most part, we're healthy. That's the biggest thing. We want to come out of it healthy. Hopefully we're smarter. That's the biggest thing as well. We want to be mentally smarter. By the time we get to training camp, we should have some type of base in place when we come back so they can hit the ground running. We don't have to start at square one.
Are there specific benchmarks that you want to see guys hit next week before you wrap up for the summer?
Now, the biggest thing is to cut down on the Emmys and the penalties. And that's always the case when you first start out these things. Until the pads come on, you really don't know. So you want to cut down on the penalties, and we don't want to beat ourselves. So we can't beat ourselves. If the offense makes a great play or the defense makes a great play, we can live with that. But we don't want to shoot ourselves in the foot.
Todd, what does it say about the trust and belief that you have in the rest of the guys in the wide receiver room with the Tompkins move?
It's got a lot of competition come training camp. We got some guys that's going to surprise some people, so I'm looking forward to see them in pads, and we're excited to see where it goes.
Within that group, Cameron Johnson, the rookie from Barton, what does he see?
Very athletic, extremely athletic, can catch and get upfield in a heartbeat. Very good pattern runner, very good hands. Be nice to see him in pads.
How much chemistry can Baker build with some of these receivers like McMillan and even Trey at this time of the year?
Well, he's been there all spring, and it's a new offense for them all, so Baker can help because he's been in it before, but the chemistry he builds with them is more of the timing of the route running and all that type of thing, and getting the motions right and getting the field position right when they're in their stances and get that down. So if we can get that done this camp, that's a plus.
You mentioned you guys are mostly healthy. Peter Canoe came back to practice sometime during the last week. With Coach Keith, Zach Anixted, quarterback you guys have. Any update on them? Do you think they'll be ready for minicamp next week or training camp?
I don't expect them to be ready for minicamp at this time. We'll see about training camp.
What did you see from Bucky Irving in this offense in terms of instincts and vision as far as his cuts?
We had that. We saw that on tape in college, but his intelligence is something we didn't know as much. But when we got him here, we knew when we interviewed him, but he's a very sharp player. He picks things up well, and, cuts right here and T-shirt and shorts. I think everybody's on All-American. Those things have a way of sorting them things out. I don't worry about that right now. I understand it's a business part of it, and we'll go from there. Thanks.
Thank you.